Hello, Lisa Dudkowski, Global Political Business Intelligence, Global Fertility Business Intelligence, Certified Financial Planner. This is addressed to the CFP Board, the politically weaponized Washington, D.C. CFP Board, BS organization, worthless designation, although I like the 2 years of extra college coursework at Northwestern University. I'm glad I took the courses, passed it in 10 months, took a 10-hour, 2-day test, practiced as a certified financial planning professional for 15 years in the securities industry. But the little R in a circle, the registered trademark after CFP, I looked on uspto.gov. It's very questionable about what years they actually owned what versions of the trademark, but whatever. It never did me an ounce of good. I did them good by volunteering for Financial Planning Day many times at the Harold Washington Public Library. I always volunteered for financial planning days for groups of people that needed free financial planning help, and always never charged for my services. I had the philosophy if people trusted me with their wealth and all their accounts and their financial planning, I wouldn't need to charge them an extra fee for financial planning. So I did it pretty much pro bono, the financial planning part, for 15 years. And then I was targeted by the politically weaponized CFP board that were protecting 71-year-old twin brothers who were transacting in my deceased client's account without any permission to do so, without informing LPL Financial or Corbridge Financial or any of her financial custodians that she had died. I started not being able to get in touch with the disabled daughter and brought that concern to my supervisor and to other people in the firm, and was blown off and told I needed to rebalance one of the 5 accounts. And this went on and on, that I was blown off and bringing my concerns to management at LPL Financial. Then I found out that she was deceased. And even then, they took many, many months until December 31st to log in 5 returned statements marked deceased, returned to sender. Those weren't even logged in until long after I found out that she passed away. So there was a lot of corruption going on. And the CFP board was protecting these advisors because they were in with my supervisor, Great Lakes West Illinois and Great Lakes West Northern Illinois region, in corrupt deals with Breen Capital and Breen Asset Management. So when I was able to source this and put it together and do hundreds of pages of charts and graphs and research for the top levels of LPL Financial, instead of getting rid of the corrupt supervisor whose former business partners were offshoring Breen Asset Management and Breen Capital, instead I was targeted. And this is a long story, so I won't get into the whole story. But these 2 twin brothers, one of them used the CFP designation, the other one used it even though he never earned it. He used it too. Both of the brothers, and both of them were at LPL Financial, and both of them were doing work, this is on Cook County records, in my deceased client's estate and account with no permission to do so, and without reporting the death of the client to any of her professionals, any of her financial custodians. They were doing a dirty deal with Pritzker and with 2 Democratic Illinois reps. Very dirty deal, because they were raising money for Brandon Johnson for mayor, using my deceased client's image and likeness, and writing fake articles in Substance News saying that this famed actress Bridget Geraci was at her funeral with Stacey Davis Gates, you know, the head Chicago teachers union woman who sends her kid to a private school, even though she's the head of the whole public schools, but she sends her kid to a private school. And this was a fake funeral that was written about in JB Pritzker's Substance News, the radical education publication. And so Stacey Davis Gates was not at the funeral. Bridget Geraci was not at her dying bedside. They published all this news, and then Mary DeFino held a fundraiser within days of my client passing away. I then find out on GoFundMe to raise money for Brandon Johnson for mayor. And then the House did a resolution, the Senate did a bill, all within days of her passing away, with these reps writing things that weren't even true about her and her family because they didn't even know her. They were just told to write bills and resolutions so that they could raise money for political action committees and for GoFundMe accounts to elect Brandon Johnson for mayor, who's a Chicago public school teacher. So I guess he's doing the best job he could be doing. I'm not saying anything badly about Brandon Johnson for mayor. He was obviously the people's choice for mayor. But my deceased client never agreed to be a fundraiser for political candidates after she died. All of her money, all of her wealth was supposed to go to her two disabled heirs who are on government benefits. And so CFP Board is protecting the people that were working with the Chicago public schools and Pritzker to raid her estate and use her for political fundraising. So this is really aggravating because now the CFP Board is taking down my YouTube videos that were made in 2016 and two of them that were made about IVF and life sciences, private equity and mergers and acquisitions in 2021. The CCRM TA Associates Mystery, The Great Caper. I have 6 parts. They took down part 1 and they just removed it. They didn't send me any email. They didn't tell me, oh, you need to change something. It was professionally done. All copyright and trademark is done properly. I was 100% using the trademark for 15 years that I was using the CFP trademark. So these videos were professionally done in the past. They have copyright dates on them. I'm not representing them as current videos. Just like I published in the past using the CFP trademark, where the things can't be republished, the videos can't be reshot. They were made in the past. So YouTube should have said, oh, can you go back and edit in a disclaimer if they were worried that it wasn't clear? Not just permanently remove my videos with no notice to me. This is corruption. And why does the CFP Board, corrupt people, have control over YouTube? This and this is also because I support Donald J. Trump for president. And that's not a Republican thing or a Democratic thing. It's a unification thing. He's the one person that puts America first, protects our children, our grandchildren, our healthcare, our education, our defense, our taxes. You know, he's the one president that can unify all political parties. So if you want another Republican, I highly recommend Vivek Ramaswamy. Very smart young man. Text 84835. Hear what he has to say. And if you're only going to vote Democrat, RFK Jr. speaking out against the experimental CCP injections and speaking out about how to protect ourselves health-wise from being victims of the globalists. So there are a lot of good presidential candidates, but mostly Trump. And YouTube doesn't like that. YouTube is owned by Google, and I guess they don't like that I'm a strong Illinois advocate and center of influence globally in IVF and life sciences, but also Illinois first, USA first for Donald J. Trump. So you're trying to antagonize me by removing videos that are 7 years old and 2, 3 years old that have nothing wrong with them. So this is CFP Board. This is a corrupt not-for-profit, weaponized Washington, D.C. not-for-profit, CFP Board. You do nothing for your members. You hire a horrible, horrible advertising agency that spends $10 million a year on ridiculous, laughable, offensive advertising. So just like you don't necessarily need a CPA to have someone do good taxes for you, a CFP can be useful, but in itself, it really doesn't mean anything. So CFP Board is a corrupt not-for-profit. They are targeting me. They've been targeting me. Why are they so scared of a woman from Illinois, Chicago area, Northern Illinois? All of these elitist white men at the CFP Board are so scared. Kevin Keller, corrupt. Leo Rodzewski, general counsel, corrupt. You guys each make over $1 million a year. You've been with them for decades and decades. And you're puppets, you're globalist puppets for the offshoring of United States credit unions and financial institutions. It's not an accident that you have, what's that guy, Leslie Konigsberg, as your head of the DEC, Disciplinary and Ethics Commission. He's corrupt. After I reported all this, 2 days later, James Gorman, the CEO, announced he's stepping down. That is not an accident. That's because it's an 85,000 person global company, Morgan Stanley, that's completely corrupt, in bed with the politically weaponized CFP Board. So CFP Board needs its not-for-profit status taken away, and they can't not pay taxes. They can't be a not-for-profit because they are a for-profit. They are political lobbyists for Joe Biden, for Diaper Joe, and for this very corrupt globalist organization that wants to gut and offshore America and take away all our rights and freedoms. So CFP Board, stop removing my videos. I don't want to use your stupid trademark. It's worthless. It's a mark of shame. You're totally corrupt. Anybody who pays you money is wasting their money. You're corrupt. You're tied to Joe Biden. You're tied to foreign enemies and foreign dictators. Let's talk about Atria Wealth, Lee Equity Ventures. LPL Financial put their head guy, Bill, what's his name? William Hennessy. And then the guy they put over me for the last 30 days, IMA, the CFO of Illinois Manufacturers Association's buddy and neighbor. So John Scarbino is Phil McCall's buddy and neighbor in Marietta, California. His wife, Denise Scarbino, went over from LPL to Atria Wealth, 5 broker dealers. And after I reported all the fraud, all of a sudden, end of February, Atria Wealth offshores. Files with Companies House UK, Malaysian guy, I think, that no one's ever heard of, and they're doing this mysterious offshoring. Only they can't do that. You can't take $1 trillion and 5 or 6 U.S. broker dealers plus federal credit unions in Florida and other places, United States federal credit unions, and just offshore this pop-up conglomerate of broker dealers that Lee Equity Ventures bought that just started in maybe 2017 or 2018. And all of a sudden you have $1 trillion plus in financial institutions, and you're going to offshore it and go around Department of the Treasury and go around CIFIS, Center for Foreign Investments in the United States. No, it's not going to happen. And CFP Board is tied into all this offshoring and corruption and silencing really great securities industry professionals and certified financial planners that don't agree that America should be gutted and offshored. So they're beta servants of Joe Biden, Diaper Joe, Kevin Keller needs to be fired. Joel Leslie Konigsberg, Constellation Group, Morgan Stanley needs to be fired. Leo Radzewski needs to be fired. Please, YouTube, stop removing my videos. If you need something changed in the text, tell me. Stop, put my videos back, because this is corrupt and this is election interference, especially because I'm a big proponent of strong moderates and conservatives. So this is election interference, and I don't promote any radical narratives. Therefore, you want to silence me on YouTube. You need to stop.